Welcome back, D-Gens. Here we go. Missed it by day. First time in a while. But anyways, let's get right into it. Don't want to waste your time. Don't want to go over a bunch of other bullshit that everyone's said a million times over the course of the summer. I'm going to give you quick, actionable information. Give me a few minutes. We'll make some money. I'll show you what to do. And today I'm actually going to show you a way to make money even when you lose on the picks. So we'll take a look at it. Real quick, if you're new here, please like, subscribe, comment, all that kind of good stuff. Try to give out good news stats all the time. Try to give you plays. You can follow it, fade it, whatever you want to do. But it's all free all the time, whether it's fantasy tips, props, picks, whatever it may be. So today's first lesson here is going to be the trends, the gambling, betting trends for 2025 that I am personally going to be playing. But these are trends that across the board are profitable. They've proven profitable for years at this point. Some of them for, 15, 20 years. Others for just the last 2 or 3 years. But it is a trend nonetheless. Some of them, as long as we have a reason as to why, something that we should play, we should probably quantify. So first thing first, team totals under after the bye weeks. So you've probably heard it by now. After the bye week is not good for teams against the spread. They always, come out lackadaisical. They're really kind of slow. It takes them a second to refocus, whatever it is. If you listen to Warren Sharp, it's like after the CBA agreement a couple years ago where they had to take some training time away. The team can't practice as much, things like that during the bye week. It just kind of gives the guys a little bit of rust. It takes their mind off football and it takes a while to readjust. Surprisingly, the numbers are even worse when they play at home. And so one theory that I have going, and this is exactly that, just a theory, is that when teams play at home, it's a little harder to get them into the mood of an NFL football game, right? Like it's not a business trip. You're not solely focused on the game and what's going on and being with your team. You are focused on other things. If you watch Hard Knocks, if you know any of these, football players, especially the guys at the top, most of them have families, they have commitments, they have businesses, they have all sorts of stuff, media engagements, whatever it is. So that's not always 100% football. And when they are at home, you see that. Playoffs may be the only time we really see a difference in that. So how do we play this, though? Because everyone knows that the spread is going to be favored towards the away team when they have, or even just the team that's not coming off a bye. Well, it's kind of hard when you know that the spread is already going to be, set. If we know about it, Vegas definitely knows about it. So we need a different way to play that same angle. My angle is a team totals under. So the week after the bye week, we're going to be looking to take unders on the teams. Specifically, we're going to be looking to take teams who are kind of struggling offensively anyways, or even maybe just average teams offensively when they are playing a solid to, top 10 defense coming off the bye week. So it's going to be particular angles. The best thing I can tell you to do when you're gambling, especially with football, is be selective. I know there's a lot of people out there that'll give you 100 picks and they're going to end up going 55 and 45 one week and like, oh my God, this is awesome. We're up so much money. We made so many units. Or they're going to go, have a really good week and hit 60 and 40 and they're going to be touting the shit, banging their chest, all that kind of crap. That's fucking great until you have that week that you go 20 and 80 and you just lost most of your bankroll. Or if you win, you got 53 and 47, okay, whoop-de-doo, you won $5. Let's not do that. Best way to do this is to be selective. If you look at the guys who are making the top money as far as gambling is concerned, the guys who are out there and making their media tours, they're not playing 100 plays. They're not playing, every single prop on the board. They're being selective. Same thing here, guys. You have to pick your targets ahead of time, preferably at least a week to not 2 weeks ahead of time, to know what you're looking for. Even set, like I have the whole season set already, right? Other stuff's going to come up here and there, but setting up the whole season and going based off of that until something proves, whether a trend or a player wrong, you really want to stick to that as much as you can, because in the middle of the season, you're going to get hyped about a player. You're going to get hyped about a particular position or, a trend or a weekly issue or travel spot, whatever it is. You need to make sure it's ahead of time and try to stick to your plan as much as possible. And if you are losing, you're going to at least minimize your losses by doing that instead of trying to play more and more and more. When you're losing, the strategy should be to pull back, to maybe stop even for a week or for at least a game, or not play everything on the board. and give yourself a second to kind of refocus, make sure you're seeing the board clearly again, and not just keep piling on money chasing losses. So it was a very long-winded way for the first one. I promise they're not all going to be this long. Before I continue on, just a quick note, as per usual, guys, we are brought to you today by Bookmaker.eu. The link is going to be in the comments below. Like I've said before, it is the one and only spot that I have found or that I have under my belt right now that I can guarantee you are going to get a 100% free play match with a 1x rollover. It is very hard to beat. I do not see it anywhere else. I've looked and I've looked and I've looked. There's another video I have about what books to choose from this year. This is the best bonus going out there. You're not having to play it 10 times or 40 times or 20 times. It's a 1x playthrough with a 100% match. You're not going to find it anywhere else. Even if you have another sports book, I cannot stress to you enough, get set up with Bookmaker in the link below. Just do it now. You don't need to fund it right now. You don't need to do anything else. Just sign up. Take a look at the lines. You'll be seeing them. They're going to come out earlier than pretty much anybody else. They're going to be the sharpest line. It's going to give you a good position to hedge and to middle, because I can almost guarantee you, if you're using the other square books out there, their numbers are going to be different from Bookmaker. Bookmaker is going to move their line first, or they're going to sometimes stand their ground on a certain line, and it's going to give you a really good opportunity to hedge or to middle. So do it now. Get it set up before we get into the season. Thank you. You'd be helping out the channel, supporting us here. I appreciate anything you can do for us. So let's get back into it. A couple things here as far as the trends. So fade teams with a new offensive coordinator in the first quarter and probably first half of the games. Pretty self-evident. Anytime you see a new offensive coordinator taking over, it almost always takes them at least a week or two to kind of work out whatever they want to work out, right? Whether it's some new plays, some kinks in what they're doing, some movement, some personnel stuff. So that first week that they're changing, and again, this is going to be something you have to be very selective with, because it's not going to happen a million times throughout the season. This is probably maybe 2, 3, 4 times at most, I would assume, throughout the season. When you see a team change offensive coordinator, play the under on the first quarter total for that team, or you can just play against them for that first quarter by picking the other team, obviously. So first half is most likely still going to be the same trend. My first quarter is specifically what I have been looking at. Next here we have fading the Titans weeks 2 through 5. So usually rookie quarterbacks from weeks 1 through 5 have a very, very low performance. And I apologize, I don't have it off the top of my head, but I believe it's like 47 or 45 and 82, something along those lines. About a 35% win rate. And that's just obviously not good enough to be profitable. So we're going to fade the Titans week 2 through 5. And really, this goes for any rookie quarterback. It just happens that Cam Ward probably the only starting quarterback, other than maybe Sanders if he gets in there for those weeks. Now, I'm not fading him week 1 because Sean Payton, as I've said before, struggles with new quarterbacks. He doesn't have film on. And Sean Payton just tends to start slow week 1. So we may take the Titans plus the 7.5 for that week. But that's pretty much the only exception for the first 5 weeks for the Titans and Cam Ward, or rookie quarterbacks in particular. Next here, and this is one that's a long time one here if you're a fan of the channel, is 3+ day advantage in weeks 13 and on. So if we have, and this is not bye weeks. So like we were talking about earlier, bye weeks, we're expecting the teams to be a little bit of a lower performing team or a lower performing week. So something like a Thursday night football game playing against someone who is coming off a Monday night football game. There is a 3+ day advantage from weeks 13 on, and it is a huge advantage as far as being able to cover the spread. So looking for those rest advantage spots, specifically later in the season. There are a few. I have them on my schedule. When we get there, we'll go over that. But obviously that's not going to be for a few weeks at this point. Next, and similar to this one, fading teams coming off of Sunday night football or Monday night football. Now, this is something you can do pretty much all year round. However, just like the previous trend, this is going to get more and more successful as we get further into the season, as there's more injuries, as there's more wear and tear, as people are tired. All that kind of stuff just happens to build up and up and up throughout the season. So something like, let's say week 8, about halfway point in the season, you're going to see the teams that coming off of Monday Night Football kind of start to slip a little bit more for that following game. Teams playing its third game in 10 days at the start of the season are 5-8 against the spread, which is 39%. Now, there's only one team that this is going to apply to, and that is the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Chiefs. I believe that is the Christmas Day game, if I remember correctly. But they are in that spot where they're playing their third game in 10 days. We're going to fade them, and not just fade them, we're going to fade the shit out of them in that particular game. So quick and easy on that one. Now, next here, divisional matchups for the first time that they're playing each other mean that if Cowboys and Giants, the first matchup, those tend to stay under 44. Now, 65%, actually almost 66% if you round up, of the time that does stay under 44. So obviously this is a little bit different because it could change every year. There's not an exact number to go off of, but in saying that, 44 is a key number, so we're going to kind of leave it at that mark, and that's why that demarcation line was put there. And 65% is more than profitable. Obviously, if you don't already know, really you need about 53%. It's 52 point, I believe it's 4%, something like that, but we're going around it to 53% to be profitable in this business. And at 65%, you can become a millionaire. So looking at this, the divisional matchups for the first time playing each other to stay under 44, and because of the hit rate, you can actually play it up to minus 170 and still be profitable. So if we have a line coming out on, let's say, the Titans Texans, right, and they are under 44 and it's at a minus 120, we may want to smash that spot, even though it may not be the best number, or maybe some things that we think, hey, that's like exactly where it should be. We want to put some extra money on that because EV is going to just be there. Rematches within 3 weeks. So this is a quick one as well. Anytime we see a rematch within 3 weeks, and that's about as quick as it can happen. So there's a game between, Cowboys, Giants, like we were saying earlier, then a week off, and then they play each other again. That one almost always goes to the team that lost the first time. So quick breakdown. The two teams play each other this week. Team A wins. They go play another team that second week, and then they play each other the third week. Well, in between that time, the team that lost is going to be evaluating, self-evaluating, scouting, changing, seeing what they could do better. They probably already have some idea as to what kind of caused them to lose or what they need to execute better on, whereas the team that won really doesn't have a whole lot of anything to go off of other than, hey, let's just keep doing what we were doing. So you tend to start off with the team that lost, making those adjustments, coming out, playing really good in the first half, and then the team that won the first game has to then counter that or try to adjust at halftime, and it's not usually successful, or it's not as successful as it should be. So playing the team that lost that first game, and again, this one, very, very small, amount of games it's going to happen in. This year, I believe it's something like 4 or 5 games, but we'll take a look at it when we get there. And I believe it starts like week 8, if I remember correctly. Christmas games are typically won by the away team. So these last 2 years here that we have had Christmas games, I want to say almost all of them have been won by the away team, or if anything, it may be like 1 in 5, 2 and 4 at tops for the home team. I know the one that really stands out is the Ravens beating the dog shit out of the Texans last year. My assumption is just the team that's at home, their mind is elsewhere. They're ready to have Christmas. Their family is expecting them to have a normal Christmas because these players are playing at home. They're going to have Christmas parties and things to go to and be with their family. Whereas the away team has been planning for this. They've known this for at least the entire season, that they're not going to be home for Christmas. So they are solely focused on football. That's all they're there for. It is a business trip at that point. So take the away teams during Christmas. And then lastly, and this is another holiday one, the Thanksgiving Day games have been very high to the over. It is 8-1 to the over since 2022 specifically. Now, one note on that, and this is kind of coming from players, and I apologize that I can't pinpoint exactly where I heard this from, but a lot of times when the games play on Sunday and then you have another game on Thursday, especially like an early Thursday game, there's not a whole lot of time to adjust both sides of the ball, offense and defense, if any side of the ball that is. And defensively, if you go out there Sunday and you make a mistake, or you are very showing that, hey, there's something wrong here, we can't cover on the back end, we can't stop the run, we're weak on the left side, whatever it may be, the team that you are playing against on Thursday knows that you didn't really have a lot of time to fix that. Schematically, you're not going to have a lot of time to fix that. And a lot of times, these are not divisional games, so you're not going to sit there and really game plan for this. This is a one-time deal. So you're not playing this team again for a while, most likely. So there's not a whole lot of changes. So these games tend to go over because they're taking advantage of what they know the defense cannot change. So it's as simple as looking at how did they get burned last week? All right, let's do that. And that's pretty much it. And then the offense just kind of adjusts to it. And so they spend a lot of time adjusting offensively and not really defensively because it's the easier change. So all of these trends, guys, we're going to be playing all of them this year. Like I said, it's going to come up as we get to them throughout the season. I'll definitely go over it with everyone. We'll bring it back up. We have it in the spreadsheet. I have the entire year, ready to go. So again, I'll let you guys know. I'll remind you, but this is something nice to know, to write down, to look ahead, because by the time I tell you or anyone else tells you, any other podcast tell you or remind you for the year, you're probably going to be behind the 8 ball. The line's going to probably have moved. So do it now, write it down, keep it somewhere, look at it throughout the season, and make sure you're taking advantage of these spots as they come up. Lastly, like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm going to give you a way to make money even when you lose. And in this particular instance, that is by buying DraftKings stock. So DraftKings, of course, amazing when it comes to football, right? Whether it's betting, gambling, fantasy, daily fantasy, whatever the hell it may be, DraftKings really does its best work during football season. That's when they make their most money. Now, there's a couple times of the year that they do really well. One is at the start of football season. Another is at the Super Bowl. Throughout the rest of the season, yes, they're doing fine. They're making money, but those are the 2 times a year everyone is really focused on it. They're putting their money into it. They're sinking their money into it. So really quickly, and you can go back and do the research your own as well, but if we look at this time of year last year, let's just say August 18th, which is close enough, $34 is what it was at. Then we had the beginning of football season, which is about the September 4th week. It was already up just a little bit. And after we get into the first, second, third week, we're up to $41 there. So that is a pretty big difference. It's $7 specifically, but percentage-wise, you have a really massive increase when it comes to stocks, especially if you're in a position to where you can buy options and things like that. You can really maximize on this right now. If you were to buy a DraftKings option for a $50 option at the end of September, right now you're looking at about $40 to $50 to buy that option. However, if this hits and we get this position up to or over $50, you are looking at about at least a $200 to probably $500 gain on a $50 option, right? Stock option. So they don't want to call it gambling. I will call it gambling because stocks are essentially gambling adjacent at worst. So something to look at. This is definitely a very seasonal trend, guys. And like I said, the other part here is during the Super Bowl. So if you wanted to wait, obviously you see it kind of spike after this first month. It doesn't go right away. It doesn't go the same day that football starts because it takes us a week or two to basically have the results come in, right? For DraftKings, how much money did they make? How much money did they lose? Were they doing good as far as, hey, did the public lose? Did they win? Where are we at financially here? So it does take a couple weeks. It's not going to be first week of September. Probably more mid to late September is when you'll see the growth really hit. Then you see it again for like Thanksgiving time frame because, again, everyone's looking at football. And then the dip. And then what do you know? Right around Super Bowl, a huge spike. So this is just, football guys already. You're already doing it. You're already playing it. You're already betting it. You're already familiar with DraftKings. I would never tell you to invest in something you're not familiar with. This is something that we're all doing already. You might as well put your money into it. It's going to cost you $50, maybe $60 if you want to get really aggressive, but it's going to totally be worth it. It's going to be the best $60 bet you're going to make. Like I said, I can't guarantee you that you're going to win, that you're going to hit on this, but for something that you understand and makes sense to you, you may as well do this. The number one question I get is, how the hell do I do this? How do I start investing? How do I put the money into it? Number one, if you just want to buy stock in DraftKings, you don't want to buy the option, just go to Cash App, E-Trade, anything like that. You can buy it from there, set it up in about 5 to 10 minutes. You fund it with some cash from a debit card, credit card, whatever it is. Get it in there. That's pretty much it. There is one other way, though, and this is actually something that's going to help you more than just this one particular position I'm giving you. I was recently able to come in contact with seasonality.ai. They are another website that is providing these types of plays, these seasonal picks for stocks. as you can tell, as I was just explaining to you why this position goes up and down throughout the year, it's very, very self-evident. We all know it. Seasonality.ai understands that as well. And they also understand that there's other positions that have seasonal value, right? Something like a Bath and Body Works, where your girlfriend, your wife, your mom, whoever is going to be buying those products from Bath and Body Works right around Black Friday. They're going to put their annual sale on. Their stock is going to go through the roof. That's the time to invest. Things like that will make sense once you start talking to yourself, and once you understand these are all seasonal things. Every single year we do the same thing. You might as well capitalize on it. Seasonality.ai gives you that information. It tells you what's going to work and what's not. It's going to show you the trends. It's going to tell you when to buy, how to buy, when to sell. Most importantly, make sure you maximize your profits. So it's going to do all of that for you. So instead of sitting there racking your brain, trying to throw it into like Copilot or ChatGPT or whatever, just use the seasonality.ai. Again, the link will be in the comments below. Sign up for their package. There is a promo code for us here. If you just put in GG, they are going to give you 10% off of any package that you choose. It's free to look around in there. If you do decide to choose a package and get involved with this seasonal investing, just another way to kind of raise that bankroll up, go ahead and do so. Use the promo code GG to make sure you get your 10% off. And that's it, guys. That's everything for today. I hope you guys have a great preseason week 2. Everybody makes some money out there. And then we'll come back next week. We'll hit preseason week 3 hard. I'll let you know who's winning and losing for that week. And then we'll start looking ahead to regular season week 1 and reevaluating and recapping those picks. So thank you again. Y'all have a great day, and I will speak with y'all soon.